Welcome to another episode of Sports Night in Auburn. I'm Liv Moore.
And I'm Jenny Jordan. We have a lot in store for you today. Football, soccer, volleyball, and more. Auburn football hosted Penn State on Saturday inside Jordan-Hare. The Tigers lost 41-12 in what would end up being the worst home loss a Tigers team has suffered since 2012. Here's Eagle Eye's Caitlin Griffin's exclusive take on the game.
2 minutes and 40 seconds.
The Tigers were looking for revenge against the Nittany Lions, but Auburn cracked under the pressure, losing the game 41-12. Off to a fast start, Auburn's defense came out onto the field looking for blood. The Tigers managed to shut down the Nittany Lions for a short period of time, but Penn's defense didn't let Auburn off easy. Penn State kept Auburn out of the end zone until the second half of the game. Auburn was able to get on the scoreboard first with a field goal kicked by Anders Carlson. However, Auburn's lead didn't last long. Penn State, led by Sean Clifford, drove down the field for a touchdown. Penn State's running game was unstoppable as the game went on. Penn State's defense contained Auburn star Tank Bigsby and their quarterbacks. Throughout the game, Robbie Ashford and TJ Finley were consistently being rushed out of the pocket, which led to several forced turnovers. The frustration was visible on Auburn's defensive and offensive players, which led to multiple unnecessary penalties and crucial mistakes being made. The Nittany Lions fed off this frustration and scored 3 more touchdowns and set the pace for the rest of the game. Auburn's young players Robbie Ashford and Jarquez Hunter gained some speed late in the third quarter. Hunter scored the Tigers' first touchdown of the night, and Ashford went for the 2-point conversion but fell just short of the end zone.
It's homecoming as Auburn takes on Missouri in the first game of the 2022 SEC schedule. The Harsin-led Tigers will look to rebound after a disappointing performance against Penn State. The game kicks off at 11 a.m. and will be broadcasted on ESPN.
The SEC dropped schedules for the 2023 football season on Tuesday night. Auburn's schedule is as follows. Week 1, Auburn will host UMass. Week 2, they travel to Cal. Week 3, the Tigers host the Stanford Bulldogs. The Tigers travel to A&M in Week 4 before they host Georgia the last week before the bye. In Week 7, the team travels to Baton Rouge to take on LSU before hosting Ole Miss and Mississippi State in Weeks 8 and 9. In Week 10, the Tigers travel to Vandy for the first time since 2012 before going to Fayetteville to play the Hogs in Week 11. The Tigers will finish the season off with a home game against New Mexico State before hosting Alabama in the Iron Bowl to end the season.
Auburn starts the season off by playing 2 teams that Auburn has never played in football, with UMass and Cal. The winning team of the Auburn-Vandy game will take the lead in the all-time series as the programs are tied 21-21.
When we come back, we'll talk about Auburn soccer, volleyball, the start of tennis season, and more.
Welcome back to Sports Night in Auburn.
Auburn soccer fell short to Missouri in their SEC opener 1-0. This marks the first loss of this season. Despite being outshot 12-4, Auburn's goalkeeper, Maddie Prohaska, recorded 7 saves on 8 shots, her highest total since her freshman season. The Tigers are headed into a tough road test on Thursday when they travel to Fayetteville to verse number 14 Arkansas. This game is scheduled for 6 p.m. Central Time.
History has been rewritten. Auburn's volleyball stays perfect at 11-0, the best start in the program's history. Following the young team's record-breaking weekend, head coach Brent Crouch said, "To break the record when the average age of your team is 18, that just bodes well. So well for the future." The Tigers swept the JSU tournament this past weekend, taking down Southern Miss 3-0, Jackson State 3-0, and Jacksonville State 3-2.
Junior Jackie Barrett was named SEC Setter of the Week. This weekend, the 6'2 setter averaged 11.91 assists per set, was second for the Tigers in total digs with 24, and added 2 aces and 7 blocks. Crouch and company are back in action and kick off SEC play when they travel to Tuscaloosa on September 24th to face Alabama.
The women's tennis team got their season started over the weekend when the team traveled to Charlottesville, Virginia to compete in the Wahoo Invitational. The team struggled, going 4-6 in their 10 matches over the course of the tournament.
Adeline Flack went 1-2 in singles play, while Anastasia Astakova went 2-2 in singles. As a doubles pairing, they won 1 match and dropped another pair. The team will look to turn things around tomorrow at the NC State Invite.
The Auburn cross country team traveled to Huntsville, Alabama for the North Alabama Showcase over the weekend. Of the 37 teams at the meet, the men finished in 6th and the women finished in 4th.
Ryan Canan finished the 8K in 23 minutes and 58 seconds, which was good for 8th individually. The time was 25 seconds faster than his previous career best. As for the women, Jean Coetzee finished in 6th individually in the 5K with a time of 16 minutes and 42 seconds.
When we come back, we'll talk about Auburn in the NFL. You're watching Sports Night in Auburn.
Welcome back to Sports Night in Auburn.
It is safe to say that it was a week full of surprises in the NFL, but let's break down the Auburn-made players that showed an impact for their teams this week. In the 20-10 win over the Saints on Sunday, Buccaneers cornerback Carlton Davis showed up yet again. Davis contributed 9 tackles, 8 of them solo, a defended pass, and fumble recovery.
Despite a loss to the Bills on Monday night, Roger McCreary is making a name for himself in his rookie campaign, leading the defense with 11 tackles in his second start. It was another perfect weekend for the Raiders kicker, Daniel Carlson, making all 3 field goal attempts, including a 55-yarder in both of his extra points.
For more information on Auburn athletics, be sure to check out our website at eagleeyeauburn.com and stay up to date on all things Auburn sports on our Twitter at EETV_sports. I'm Liv Moore.
And I'm Jenny Jordan. Thank you for watching. Good night and War Eagle.